The sky above New Delphi turned red as three dark ships broke through the clouds. They were massive, shaped like blades, their surfaces smooth and black like oil. No warning came, no voice spoke, only fire. Bright plasma beams shot down, hitting the city like hammers. Buildings exploded, roads cracked, the air filled with smoke and screams. Jason Hale was in the power control center when the alarms started. He had worked there for 2 years, fixing broken lines and keeping the lights on. Now, the screens flashed red. "Attack detected," one said. Then, the lights went out. Emergency lights turned on, casting a weak red glow. He grabbed his radio and ran. Outside, the world was chaos. People ran in all directions. Some fell, others were already gone. A school bus flipped on its side, flames rising from the engine. Jason didn't stop. He moved toward the transit hub, where hundreds were trapped. He found Lisa Moran under a fallen beam. She was a teacher, trying to get her students to safety. One leg was pinned. Her face was pale, her breath short. Jason pulled the beam off with all his strength. He lifted her up and carried her behind a broken wall. Above them, the alien ships opened their sides. Strange pods dropped out, falling fast. They hit the ground with loud booms. Then they opened. Tall, thin creatures stepped out. They had 6 limbs, hard shells, and eyes that shone like glass. They moved fast, scanning the ruins. One of them stepped forward. A device on its back made a voice in perfect English. "This is your only warning. Surrender your systems. Do not resist. If you fight back, you will be erased." Jason held Lisa close. He said nothing. He only watched. The creature looked at them, then turned. The pods closed. The ships rose, cutting through the smoke, and vanished into space. Silence fell, broken only by the crackle of fire and distant cries. Jason looked at the sky. His hands were dirty, his clothes torn, but his mind was clear. He whispered, so only Lisa could hear. "They think we'll forget. They think we'll hide, but we won't." Lisa looked at him. "What will we do?" He stood up, pulling her with him. "We remember, and one day they'll wish we hadn't." Earth got the message 37 hours after the attack. A weak signal came from the ruins of New Delphi. It played for only 30 seconds. Screams, explosions, and then the cold voice of the alien commander. The United Terran Council heard it in a quiet room under Geneva. Leaders sat in silence. Some wanted to talk, some wanted to hide, but one man stood up. His name was Paul Granger. He was a commander in the Deep Space Fleet. He had seen war before, not like this, but he knew what fear looked like. He looked at the others and said, "They didn't come to talk. They came to kill, and they will come again." He showed them the data. The Zereth ships were fast. Their weapons were strong, but they were not perfect. Their shields blinked for a split second after each shot. Their drop pods moved slow in the air, and their leaders stayed on one ship far from the fight. "They think we are weak," Granger said, "but we are not weak. We are smart." Back on Earth, teams worked day and night. They did not build big warships. Instead, they built small, quiet machines. Drones that could hide in space. Probes that could sleep for years. Codes that could slip into enemy systems like ghosts. They called it Project Echo. Jason Hale was part of it. He was no soldier, but he knew how things worked. He helped design traps, fake signals, broken ships, hidden mines. Each one meant to hurt, not win. "We don't need to beat them all," he said. We just need to make them afraid." Months passed. The Zereth did not return. They thought it was over. They thought humans would stay quiet. But far in space, near a dead moon, a small human probe woke up. It had been there for years, floating in silence. Now it sent a message. Not a blast, not a threat, just words in the Zereth language. "We remember New Delphi. We are coming." The signal was short. It repeated only once. Then the probe went dark. But it was enough. On a Zereth command ship, alarms rang. The High Council heard the words. They searched the area. They found nothing, but the fear had started. This was not war, not yet. This was the first whisper of revenge, and it would not be the last. Deep in Zereth space, more signals began to appear. Not loud, not from big ships, but from old, forgotten places. A broken human freighter, left floating near a dead planet, suddenly turned on. Its screen flashed with images, faces of people, names, ages, children holding hands, families at dinner. Then fire, screams, the last moments of New Delphi. The Zereth saw it. They tried to delete it, but it spread. To other ships, to other worlds. Then came the attacks. First, a fuel station exploded. No one saw it coming. A small drone, built by humans years ago, had been hiding inside. It waited. Then it burned the core. The station blew apart in silence, floating pieces glowing in the dark. Next, a command ship followed a fake call for help. It flew into an asteroid belt. Hidden mines blew up one by one. The ship crashed, lost forever. On the world of Velos, a Zereth leader was found dead in his room. No wounds, no fight. Just a small note on his chest. It said, "This is the first." Fear grew. The Zereth searched for human fleets, but there were none. No big battles, no armies, only shadows. Jason Hale watched the reports from Earth. He sat in a small room with screens on all sides. Each flash of light in deep space meant another strike. He did not smile, he just nodded. "They wanted us to forget," he said to Paul Granger over the link. "But we are not forgetting. We are teaching them." Granger agreed. They hit us once. Now they wonder when the next hit will come. That is power. More drones woke up. More traps went off. A Zereth colony lost air when a hidden machine broke the filters. A sacred temple burned when a repair bot, built by human hands long ago, turned violent. And always the message came back. We remember. The Zereth tried to find the source. They scanned every ship, every planet, but the humans were not fighting like an army. They were fighting like a thought, silent, patient, always there. One Zereth soldier wrote in a private log, "I do not fear their guns. I fear the quiet. I fear that any broken thing could be their weapon." On Earth, people still mourned New Delphi, but now they also hoped. They knew they could not win in one day, but they could make the enemy pay, every day, every year. The revenge had no end, and the Zereth were just beginning to understand. The Zereth grew angry. They could not find the human fleets. They could not stop the attacks, so they struck back. They sent ships to Ceres 9, a small outpost with no strong defenses. They fired without warning. 900 people died. Smoke rose from the broken domes. Families were gone in seconds. Earth did not cry. Earth did not beg. Earth answered. Commander Paul Granger had waited for this. He knew the Zereth would show their weakness, anger, and anger makes mistakes. He had a plan ready, a secret mission. One ship, one chance. The ship was the Kentucky, a small stealth corvette built to hide in space. It could move without sound, without heat, without light. Its job was not to fight. Its job was to find the heart of the Zeroth Command. They found it near a dark star. A huge station floated in silence. It was shaped like a spider, with long arms and glowing veins. This was the Nexus, the place where all Zeroth orders came from. If it fell, the whole fleet would stop. The Kentucky moved slow. It hid behind space rocks. It waited for a solar storm to mask its path. Then it slipped forward. No shots, no noise, just silence. It launched a small pod. Not a bomb, not a missile, but a cloud of tiny machines, prions, built by human scientists. They were not weapons. They were sickness. They could enter a Zeroth mind and break it from within. The pod hit the station's air vent. The machines spread, fast, quiet, unseen. Within hours, the Zeroth on the station began to fall. They held their heads. They screamed. Then they went still. The lights on the station dimmed. The engines stopped. The great command hub became a tomb. All over Zeroth space, ships lost their orders. They floated. They powered down. Some crashed. Others just hung in silence. On Earth, Jason Hale watched the data come in. No cheers, no loud voices, just quiet. "It's done," Granger said. "No," Jason replied. "It's only clear." They did not destroy the Zeroth. They did not kill all of them. They only showed them one thing. Humans do not forget. And when they act without end. The Zeroth had thought strength was size. Strength was power. But humans showed them real strength, patience, memory, and the will to go on. The war was not over with fire. It was over with silence. And in that silence, the message grew louder than any bomb. We remember. We wait. We answer. A year after the first attack, a Zeroth ship came to Earth. It did not fire. It did not move fast. It flew slow, with no weapons open. On its side, a white flag waved in space, old human symbol for peace. Inside the ship was one being, a high commander of the Zeroth. His armor was cracked, his eyes were tired. He was brought to a hall in Geneva where human leaders waited. The room was quiet. No shouts, no anger, just silence. He spoke through a small device. His voice was low. "We did not think you would fight like this. We thought you would fall. We thought you would forget." No one answered at first. Then Paul Granger stepped forward. He stood tall, calm, not a soldier showing force, but a man showing truth. "You told us not to fight back," he said. "You said if we did, we would end. But you were wrong. We do not end. We remember. And when someone hurts us, we do not stop at one strike. We do not stop at 10. We go on. Because we are not just strong. We are many, and we live long." The Zeroth leader looked down. "Our people are broken. Our ships are still. We ask, not for mercy, but for peace." Granger did not smile. Peace is not given. It is earned. Leave us alone, rebuild your worlds. But if you ever come for us again, If you harm one human on one world in any star system, we will return. Not with one ship, not with one war, but with every tool, every mind, every memory of what you did." He paused. "And we will not stop until you are gone." The Zirith was taken back to his ship. In his hands, he held a small crystal. Inside it, all the truth. Images of New Delphi, the names of the dead, every strike humans had made, every word spoken. Back on Earth, Jason Hale stood on a hill outside the city. Lisa Moran was with him. They looked at the stars. "Do you think they'll come back?" she asked. "Maybe," Jason said. "But they'll remember what happened, and that fear will keep them away." Far in space, human drones still float, silent, watching, waiting. Not for war, but for memory. Because humans do not forget, and if needed, they will answer. Again, and again, and again.